Hey everyone, we're about to dive deep into the animal kingdom, and I mean really deep. We're going to uncover some secrets so wild, so bizarre, they'll make you question everything you thought you knew. Ready? Let's get into it.
So you probably think you have a pretty good handle on the whole animal world, right? Well, I have a feeling some of the truths we're about to uncover are going to completely blow your mind. Let's see what you really know.
First up, let's talk about creature construction. We're going to look at how some animals are built in ways you would just never ever expect. And trust me, their basic biology is often way stranger than fiction.
Okay, let's start with something that sounds impossible. Ants don't have lungs, not a single one. So how in the world do they breathe? Well, they've got this series of tiny holes along the sides of their bodies called spiracles, and air just kind of seeps right in. It's this super efficient, passive breathing system that really only works when you're that small.
Can you even imagine tasting your dinner with your feet? That's exactly what butterflies do. They have these little sensory receptors right there on their feet. So just by landing on a leaf, they can instantly tell if it's a good place to lay eggs or if there's some tasty nectar nearby. Talk about a brilliant evolutionary shortcut.
Now here is a mind bender for you. Let's talk scale. An ostrich's eye is enormous. We're talking the size of a billiard ball. And get this, its eyes are literally larger than its entire brain, which when you think about it, makes sense. Having incredible vision is way more useful for spotting lions on the savannah.
All right, so we've seen how some animals are just built differently. But what about how we see them? In this next section, Seeing Isn't Believing, we're going to find out that what you see on the surface, well, it often hides a much different and frankly way more interesting reality. Okay, think about it for a sec. We always see hippos in the water, don't we? They look like they're just gliding around so gracefully. So the answer has to be yes, right?
Nope, not even close. Believe it or not, they can't swim at all. What they're actually doing is walking, or even kind of galloping along the riverbed. Their bones are incredibly dense, acting like a natural weight belt that keeps them on the bottom. Kind of changes how you see them, doesn't it?
This one seems totally backwards for an animal living in the Arctic, but it's absolutely true. You see, their fur isn't actually white. It's translucent and hollow, which scatters light and makes it look white. Underneath all that, their skin is jet black, which is perfect for soaking up every last bit of that precious sun.
And these deceptions start right from day one. You know the iconic black and white panda? Yeah, it starts out as this tiny, pink, almost hairless little thing. And what about the famously pink flamingo? It's born a fluffy, plain white. They only get that amazing color later on from all the pigments in the algae and shrimp they eat.
Here's a little something to remember the next time you're getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. It's only the females that are after your blood. They need the extra protein to make their eggs. The males, they're actually pretty chill. They just fly around sipping nectar from flowers.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about some absolutely mind-boggling numbers. This whole section is about the extremes of the animal world, the biggest, the oldest, and the most powerful.
Let's just try to wrap our heads around this. The blue whale isn't just the biggest animal alive today. It's the biggest animal that has ever lived. Ever. The only way to even begin to picture its size is to imagine 30 elephants all standing together. That's one animal.
And if that last fact didn't do it for you, look at this number. 8,000 pounds. That's how much a blue whale's tongue weighs. Just its tongue. That's heavier than a whole elephant. Seriously, let that sink in for a second. It's just staggering.
All right, let's move from the ocean to the land and meet another heavyweight champ, the Galapagos giant tortoise. These ancient reptiles can tip the scales at 550 pounds. To put that in perspective, that's about the same weight as a full-grown brown bear.
Now for a number that's all about time. When it comes to living a long, long life, the Greenland shark is in a league of its own. They live in the freezing cold, pitch-black depths of the Arctic, and they're the longest-living vertebrates on the entire planet. Some of them are thought to be nearly 300 years old, just silently swimming through the centuries. And finally, let's talk about pure power. A lion's roar isn't just loud, it's designed to be heard. It's so powerful it can travel up to 3 miles. That's a message loud and clear that leaves no room for misunderstanding. This is my turf.
For our last section, we're going to go beyond the physical stuff and look at something a little deeper, the secret social and emotional lives of animals. And believe me, things are way more complex than we usually give them credit for.
The social lives of animals are just incredible. For example, did you know that cows actually form deep bonds and can have best friends? They even get stressed out when they're separated. Meanwhile, giraffes are humming to each other at a frequency so low we can't even hear it. And elephants? They're one of the very few animals that can actually recognize themselves in a mirror, a clear sign of self-awareness.
You know, this might be my favorite fact of them all. It turns out, when you tickle rats, they let out this super high-frequency ultrasonic chirp, and researchers have identified it as a form of laughter. It just shows they have a capacity for joy that we rarely, if ever, associate with them.
So, we've journeyed through some absolutely incredible facts about the animal kingdom. But for our final secret, this one involves a relationship that might be, well, a little closer to home for many of us.
And the answer is yes. It's rare, but it absolutely happens. Just like we can be allergic to pet dander, some of our furry friends can actually develop allergies to our dander. You know, the skin cells we're shedding all the time. It just goes to show you the animal kingdom is full of endless surprises, and sometimes we're the surprising ones.